From California is recognized for 5 minutes.
I want to thank the chairman for allowing me to speak on this important bill. Today we're going to hear, Mr. Speaker, a lot of falsehoods. But we need to get to the bottom of why are we hearing those falsehoods. Because for 40 years in this body, people have made a career of using water as a weapon. Why? Because they never liked the fact that farmers and farm workers were making what was once a dry area of the state the Garden of Eden of this world. They never liked that. Why? Because they don't want to have to admit to themselves when they live in their beautiful cities of Hollywood and San Francisco and all these great cities that are on the coast of California, beautiful areas. It's a desert. They don't have any water either. So they wanted to keep our area, where I grew up, they wanted to keep it as a desert because they feel bad about the destruction that they've done on the coast of California. So if they can keep inland California in its original state, they'd be happy with that. But for the farmers and the farm workers that are losing their farms, farm workers are out of jobs. We're going to lose 30,000 jobs probably this year. It's an inconvenient truth that for 40 years, this body has been preempting state law and taking water away from one region and dumping it and wasting it out to the ocean. You started with the Endangered Species Act, state preemption. 1992, a lot of talk about how we're gutting the Central Valley Project Improvement Act. That bill was a state preemption. We have no way to fix the problems in California because of all the state preemptions that have been done by the left in this body over 4 decades. So I found it fascinating, the members of Congress that were getting up to speak about how we're going to kill the fish and this water is so important for these fish and the little delta smelt, we got to keep them and keep the habitat. Well, there's a little more truth to that, Mr. Speaker. Let me tell you what they're really hiding. And I apologize for the viewers at home. This is what they're hiding. Sewer discharge into the delta, killing their precious little fish. Every one of the cities in the San Francisco Bay, Sacramento, the delta. Sewage runs right into the waterway, kills the little fish. It's pretty startling, isn't it? They don't talk about that, do they? The other little thing that they don't talk about is where does their water come from? Because they live in a desert too. People don't realize that. You go visit San Francisco, you visit Silicon Valley, people think that, oh, that's a beautiful area, you know, there looks green lawns, people water their lawns. They don't have any water, Mr. Speaker, either. Because conveniently, this body preempted state law, took water from our area in the Sierra Nevadas, which is about 200 miles away. But worse than that, they went into a national park to take the water. What national park? Yosemite National Park. They went to Yosemite, one of the treasures of our national park system, and they took this valley and they put a dam so that they could create this lake. Now look, I want the people of San Francisco and the Bay Area to have water. I don't want them to be like our communities and not have any water. But we have to tell the truth, Mr. Speaker. They dammed up this valley to create this water that then it doesn't go to the delta to protect their little fish that they care so much about. No, Mr. Speaker. It gets piped over to San Francisco. Here's the pipe. It runs, this is the Sierra Nevadas. They catch the water, they pipe it all over the Bay Area, Silicon Valley, San Francisco, discharge their sewer into the bay, take pristine water from our area to feed their families, grow their grass. I don't see any of them up here saying that they're going to tear down this system, dump this water into the bay to protect their stupid little fish, their little delta smelt that they care about. We don't see that, Mr. Speaker, because they don't want to tell the truth. This isn't about truth-telling. This is about money. and power. Millions of dollars. I asked for one additional minute. So all of the radical environmental groups that were created in this country started where? In that little epicenter, Hollywood and San Francisco on the west coast of California. Lawsuits. Lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. Millions of dollars went to trial lawyers. But you know what, Mr. Speaker? Those millions of dollars that came from my community to pay off these rich lawyers, we don't know how many millions it was because it's hidden from the taxpayer. It's hidden from the American people, sealed by court order. Why don't they come out and tell us how much money they made? Millionaires off of government. Use the government to make millions. Use the government to dump sewer into the water to kill the fish. Dam up Yosemite to bring the water from Yosemite for fresh water, while our people, farmers and farm workers, lose their jobs. It's an inconvenient truth, Mr. Speaker, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from Florida.